Thanks for watching Community Update for Friday, December 6th. I'm Steve Erickson. The City Council adopted the 2020 budget and tax levy this week. The property tax levy for 2020 is around $29.4 million, which is about a 4% increase from this year's levy. The owner of an average market value home of $230,000 would see about a 7.5% increase in the city portion of their property taxes, or about $60 a year. Due to increasing calls for service, 2 new police officers and 1 new firefighter will be added next year.
Demographics are changing somewhat, and there are some different strains that's putting on our public safety departments to address those things. And then generally, I would say there has been some growth in the community over the years, and we haven't increased staffing in either police or fire in over 10 years, and so it really became time to consider those issues.
Other budget expenditures include $750,000 for a new fire engine for Station 1 and $1 million to replace the roof of the City Center building. Also, the last $1.5 million from the park bond will be spent on trails, and 5.5 miles of streets will be reconstructed. You can learn more about the budget by logging on to the city's website, coonrapidsmn.gov. A big budget surplus will greet lawmakers when they return to the state capitol for the 2020 session. On Thursday, Minnesota Management and Budget announced a more than $1.3 billion surplus for the 2020-2021 biennium. State officials credit the surplus on a better-than-expected close to the last biennium, an improved revenue forecast, and a small decrease to estimated spending. The 2020 legislative session will convene on February 11th. An open house will take place next week for residents to learn more about 2 improvement projects planned for Highway 10 and surrounding roads in Anoka. It will take place Tuesday, December 10th from 4 to 6:30 p.m. at Greenhaven Golf Course. Learn more about the replacement of the Highway 10 Rum River Bridge and the reconstruction of the Fair Oak, Thurston, and West Main Street interchange. There will be no formal presentation, but city and state officials will be on hand to answer questions. Work to remove contaminated soil from a hazardous waste pit in Andover will soon be wrapping up. The $22 million project has already resulted in the removal of rusting barrels that have posed a serious risk to groundwater. CTN's Dan Carpenter tells us what's next for the WDE landfill.
For close to 50 years, the Waste Disposal Engineering Landfill in Andover was home to hazardous industrial waste.
We're standing on a big old landfill, and a project like this, we're getting rid of the worst of the worst.
Starting in early August, the high-risk work to remove close to 2,500 drums began.
They were trying to remove those drums one by one. And so if you can imagine doing that with a backhoe, it wasn't easy. And there was a lot of health and safety concerns with that, not knowing what you're going to find.
In the end, 397 drums still contained industrial waste.
There was really no surprises. We had some colors. There were some paints in there that had some colors. We did find 2 jugs of acid that were intact, 2-gallon jugs, and I think the pH was pretty close to 0, so that was an interesting find.
The delicate work and the need to remove more than 10,000 tons of contaminated soil put the project behind schedule. Thanksgiving was the original target date.
I think their schedule now shows the end of January is when the structure will officially be done.
Contractors have already dug down more than 20 feet into a pit that will need to be backfilled with garbage and clean soil.
There's been a high volume of trucks. We definitely appreciate the patience and the understanding that folks have had. This is a really important project.
Eliminating a source of groundwater contamination, 1 truckload at a time. Dan Carpenter for CTN Update.
Although the large structure at the landfill will come down this winter, restoration work, including planting grass, will carry into spring and early summer. Anoka Ramsey Community College will be more colorful next spring when the campus unveils a 1,000 square foot community mural. The college received an arts learning grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board back in August. They recently completed the initial design process, which involved 500 people on campus, including students, staff, and the community. Art instructor Rachel Breen had students work collaboratively on the drawings.
We called it musical chairs. We would play music and students would have to work on a drawing, and then we'd stop the music and they'd move to another one. So it was not a planned process. It was very intuitive, very immediate. and every student got to make a mark. It's a little bit like doodling, but the really important part about the drawing is that we would create a little drawing in the middle, and then everyone had to respond to each other's drawings.
They plan to spend the next 2 months developing a draft drawing for the mural. The painting process will start at the end of February. The mural project is open to the public. If you'd like to help out, call the college at 763-433-1245. Coon Rapids Police are celebrating a job well done and perhaps reaching for a razor. Take a look at some of the officers who got a little scruffy this fall. It was for good reason, though. Members of the police department let their facial hair grow during the month of November to raise money for cancer research and prevention. The PD raised more than $1,200 throughout the month. The funds will go to a variety of organizations that support cancer prevention, research, and education. The guy with a big white beard will soon be coming to town. You can skate with Santa on Sunday, December 15th at the Coon Rapids Ice Center. The event runs from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. In addition to skating, there will be photo opportunities with Santa. Kids 5 and under are admitted free. You are also invited to bring a donation for Toys for Joy. One other note, from 4:20 to 5:20 p.m., students from the Ice Center's Learn to Skate School will be putting on a skating exhibition. All right, that's going to bring us to the end of today's show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you right back here again next week.